Hey guys, it's Christine with Indigo Healing. I'm going to do a really quick reading. Not so much, it's not my typical reading that I do, and this is going to be a general reading for twin flames. And I decided to do a reading kind of on just the general energies of the masculine and the feminine, and the overall union. My intention as I was doing this is that this is for people who are not together, not in union. So I do feel like this is going to apply to more people, people who are in separation, not speaking, but this could also be applying to people who are in communication, but maybe, maybe you're not physically together, or, there are people who, you can have a relationship with your twin and not be in union for a variety of reasons. So I'm just going to jump right into this. Just so FYI, my dog is hanging out with me in my office, and he's being kind of a punk, so if you hear any barking or anything, that's just him. So the energy for the divine feminine is what came up as heart chakra. And I feel like the feminine is spending a lot of time in her heart space right now. And I feel like there's like two camps with this. There are the feminine who are maybe feeling wounded and are in need of healing for their heart chakra. But then I feel like there are those that are in a place where they're really trying to live from their heart. And I don't always do that, so it's hard to explain. But it's just trying to focus on being in your heart space and coming from your heart space versus your mind. In your interactions with people, and but that's where I feel like the feminine is at. I'm also feeling like with this heart chakra, I feel like there's a really big need for self-love with the divine feminine. I feel like there's been a lot of focus on loving other people, making sure other people's needs are met, and you can't rely on other people to necessarily do that for you. Like, I talk about that all the time. You need to be the one who, first and foremost, you need to love yourself. And so I feel like the feminine are working on that as well. So then for the masculine, we have well-deserved reward. And this is the energy of the divine masculine. But this is a 9. And so I feel like there's something like they feel like they have worked hard for something. There's something that they feel like they desire, they want, but it's not happening. it feels like something's out of reach for them. And what's interesting is that they have a lot. The person on this card, they're standing on this, I don't know, building or whatever it is, and the person is very proud, and they have made a big accomplishment. And I feel like the divine masculine should be proud, because they have been going through a lot of their own stuff. And wherever they're at right now, they've come a long ways. And it's almost like I feel like they don't realize that well-deserved reward is coming. Like it's almost there. And then we have the energy of the union, which is dedicated effort. And I feel like, well, what I did right away after I pulled this card was I felt pulled to look at the bottom of the deck, and the bottom of the deck, the card was moving on. And I feel like both parties are in a place where they're realizing that an effort needs to be put into this, like an honest effort, and if you've heard me talk about this card before, this person, this painter, is working on the details of this painting. He's not working on the very obvious male and female that are embracing, but he's working on the finer pieces that will kind of pull everything together. And I think sometimes people forget that it's the smaller things in life that when you put them together, really they do make a big deal, and they can get lost, I think. When life is crazy and busy and everything's going on, it's easy to just kind of push those things to the side. And I think when you have a connection like a twin flame connection, it's also easy to put the little things, oh, those are no big deal. Just the details off to the side, because they're not the big picture, but I feel like both the masculine and the feminine are in this place of realizing like this dedicated effort needs to be happening, or else we're going to be in a place of moving on. And I feel like it's going to be a moving on. I feel like both of them are like, and I have like a lot of ideas coming in right now, so it's like that's why I'm having a hard time spitting out my words. It's you just saw. It's like they're both thinking about, we can put in the effort and we can move on to the next place in this, connection, this relationship, and in this card, it's really hard to see. This guy is walking to a place where things are growing. He's walking from a place where things are barren, and, things are just better. Or, and the divine masculine and the feminine, it's like, okay, or we can just not put in the dedicated effort and we can move on to something else, which in both cases, I feel like whatever's decided at this point, it's going to be better. I hope that makes sense. So the next cards that I pulled were for blocks. And right now, what is blocking the Divine Feminine? And 3 cards came out right away. And we have the 8 of Water. We have the 10 of Water. We have the 5 of Water. Divine Feminine, super emotional right now. And she's blocked by her emotion, probably strong attachment to the Divine Masculine. But what's going on here is that, you know, the 8 of Water is about wanting to move on and looking for something that's more meaningful. And then we have the 10 of Water and the 5 of Water, and they come out together. And I feel like what's happening is that the 10 of Cups, which is your happily ever after, you know, your 10 of Cups it's the 5 of Water. The 10 of Cups is not turning out the way you thought it would. Now, the caveat here is that with the 5 of Water, it's often you're missing something. You're not seeing the positive in the situation. And, you know, in this card, and often in many of the cups or water, depending on what type of tarot deck you have. And I might have been saying cups as I was talking about these. I kind of do that sometimes. You know, you have 3 of the cups that are falling over. And a lot of times with this card is that the person they're focused on the cards that are fallen over, but you have 2 cups and the cups are full and they're right in front of you and you're not even seeing that. And, you know, you've got these 2 cups. They're the 2 of Cups from the 2 of Water. Hello? The 2 of Water, the Twin Flame card, the Divine Love card, all of that. But she feels like, you know, so that's what's blocking her, is that she's feeling like moving on because her 10 of Cups is not looking the way she thought it should. And just a heads up, my kids just got off the bus, so it might be a little crazy for a second. So what's blocking the masculine? And, you know, this is really interesting too. I didn't even realize this. You know, he's kind of stuck in a place where he's like waiting for perfect timing and like balance of things. He's got the card Balance. This is Temperance in traditional tarot. And do you see the 2 cups? There's the 2 cups from the 2 of Cups. And he's holding them and he's kind of like swishing them back and forth. Like, you know, and it's almost like, what do? I don't know what to do. Dude, you got your 2 of Cups. Like, you have it. What are you doing with it? It's there. And there's something you're not seeing, like, and that's what's blocking you. Also, what's blocking you, the 4 of Water. And what I'm feeling like here with the Divine Masculine is that I feel like he offered his cup to someone. It may have been the Divine Feminine, or felt like he did, and she didn't accept it, or made an offer and she didn't take it the way he thought she would, and he's kind of bumming. You know, and he's not feeling too good about that. Hey, doing a video. Do you want to say hi?
Today I had a horrible day, Mommy.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Because my clip got moved down to green.
Oh, well, green's not so bad.
Yeah, but I like blue the most.
I know. Can you let me finish this? And I'll be right out.
Okay. Can I go on my Kindle, please?
Yes. Yep. Okay. He's okay. Sorry. And just so you know, she's a little dramatic because getting her clip moved is just from blue to green. She still had a very good day. Like, she was probably just told, like, not to talk or something. So, okay, so I have to speed this up. The other thing that is going on with them, they have the 5 of Earth. And so it's like they have a fear of, like, being left out in the cold. And I almost feel like, I'm almost wondering if they thought about making the offer and maybe didn't. Or they're afraid to make the offer because they're afraid of being left out in the cold. They're afraid that it's not going to be accepted. It's interesting. So, what's blocking the union? Sorry, they're all chit-chatting in the background. Okay, so what's blocking the union is the the 4 of air. So it's time to rest. So if you're, it's just time to kind of take a break. And, it is time to kind of make some decisions and make some choices and think about, what it is that is going on. But it's important not to rush into it. And then the other 2 cards are, we have victory, or 6 of fire, for victory, which means that, it's almost like you guys can't see the good news is coming. Like, you can't see the good in the situation. And then we have the magician, which is, the ability to manifest whatever you want, and do whatever you want. And it's like you don't see what's in front of you. Now, what you need to do, feminine, to start moving through these blocks, start clearing these blocks, we have the moon. And this is about moving beyond fears and doubts. And, and I feel like there's a lot of insecurities that you have in regards to your twin. There's probably a lot of things that you get triggered about, but those are things that you have to clear those things. You have to move beyond those things. And if you're watching this before the 2nd full moon in January, which is the blue moon, I would highly recommend, kind of going through some of your fears and triggers around your twin flame and do a releasing ritual, because there's 2 moons in this card, and I'm just feeling like that would be a good opportunity to use the moon energy to work through some of those issues. And then I pulled surrender cards as well for how you can move through some of these blocks. And for the divine feminine, we have surrender to prayer. Give yourself over completely to prayer. When you pray from your heart, you will be heard throughout the universe, and answers and support will arrive. And I look at this too as, doing some meditation and just being quiet. Letting the answers come to you. You'll be surprised at what ends up coming up for you in regards to your blocks. And then the next card that came up is surrender to your soul's path. Your life's journey has been perfectly designed for your soul's growth. Embrace every lesson and every moment. And so, despite what's going on, and you might have a lot of really negative feelings about it, or maybe what's transpired, or through your past, or whatever's going on, especially with your connection, you got to remember that this has been designed for you and for your own growth, and that this was meant to come out the way that it is. The what the masculine needs to, or what they can be doing to kind of clear these blocks or move through them. The card that came up is the Three of Air. The Three of Air, now the Three of Air is, heartbreak and sadness and, maybe needing to take some time to heal. The Three of Air can be indicative of those who are in some sort of third-party relationship. And so that may be something that needs to be rectified. Going from a three-party relationship to a not three-party relationship. And there's not judgment there. It's just because if there's three of you, you can't move forward with the union. I mean, that's just the case. So, and also, I wanted to point out, with what's blocking the union, the Four of Air card came up. This can be potentially what's blocking your union. This could be an air sign that's potentially blocking the union. You're an air sign, he's an air sign. If you have, if you're married, he's married, either of you are in a committed relationship outside of this, if the significant other is an air sign, that could be what was blocking it. This card, the Three of Air, could be a Libra. I don't think that's the case for everybody. And again, this is a very general reading. So, and what I'm really feeling here with this, this is a card about, because it's about the blocks. I'm really feeling like there's need for forgiveness and self-forgiveness going on with this card. So, I do feel like the masculine needs to let go of something and forgive someone, maybe a Libra, maybe themselves, so that they can move through this block. The other cards that came up are Surrender Your Ego, Cultivate Gratitude, Be of Service to Others, and Come from Your Heart. A big ego can work against you, but humility will further your goals. And then Surrender Negative Thinking. When you have control, or you have control over your thoughts. When negative thoughts surface, say thank you for sharing and quickly refocus on positive affirmations. So then the next cards that come up that are for how you can move through the blocks to the union. I thought these were really interesting. So the Page of Air and the Page of Water came out, and both of these are messengers and communication, and I feel like this is two people coming together and communicating. What's interesting is that the one is going to maybe not, like the Page of Air usually has a really valuable lesson, or not lesson, but just information or whatever it is that they have to say. It's usually like really good, needs to be heard, but it can be tough to swallow because they're not the gentlest or most tactful in their communication. But then you have the Page of Water, and the Page of Water is very soft and sensitive and intuitive and romantic, and so bringing these together, you know, to me, it's like a necessary conversation has to happen. You know, and it might not be easy because one is just very logical, very blunt, and the other is very intuitive and very sensitive. But I feel like the communication is, we get the Two of Fire. The communication is going to help you move forward. This card, the Two of Fire, is also about new partnerships. So for some of you, it could be a renewing of your partnership. For some of you, it could be you making the decision to move on and leads to a new partnership. But to clear the blocks in your union, you need to have the conversation. The other two cards that came out are surrender the habit of people pleasing. Speak your needs and be true to yourself. Focus on your own happiness instead of always trying to make everyone else happy. And surrender your fear of intimacy. You are ready to let love in. Compassionately identify and begin to release any patterns that stop you from opening your heart. I very clearly believe that one of these is for the masculine and one of these is for the feminine. Take whichever one resonates for you. They both might resonate for you. I feel like the people pleasing, to me, is very applicable to the feminine. I was speaking about it when I was talking about the heart chakra. And then I pulled two cards for the future energy, just because, I always like to kind of wrap my readings up the best I can. And so the future energy of this union is the King of Water. King of Water is about being open-hearted, trustworthy, compassionate. So, the energy is going to be the King of Water. That's good. But I just about died when I saw this card. We have to read it. I pulled an oracle card. It's Black Diamond. But, and I don't know if you can see, I don't know if it's going to focus. What it says on the card right here, because I was asking, okay, what is the future of this? What's the future energy of this union? Can you see that? And it's not focusing. True love is eternal. It's like, wow. And there's so much going on, but I don't, I do need to wrap this up, so I don't want to go too long. But the meaning of this card is you have a powerful spiritual journey to take this lifetime. It is not always easy to take this path. However, you are a wisdom bearer. You are one of the precious ones who is not destroyed by dark experiences in life, but is rather able to find wisdom and empowerment through overcoming them. You've done it before, and you will do it again now. As your soul becomes powerful through the pressures she has survived, you'll be able to rise to even greater challenges, but they will feel easier for you than before. You are unstoppable. You have every right to feel bold and joyful about what life holds for you next. So while I feel like that's a very empowering card for an individual to get, so whoever's hearing that, please be empowered by that message. But I was asking a very specific question when I pulled these cards, and so I feel like you got a very specific answer as well, that the energies of this union are very positive. This is a spiritual relationship, and there's something here. So this is not replacing my regular videos. I'm going to go back to the weeklies. I didn't really like how I did that, whatever that was with my last reading. It kind of threw me off on my routine. So I will be back with the weekly this coming up week. If you'd like to schedule a reading with me, check the information down at the bottom of the video. Thank you so much to everybody for all of your likes and your comments. I read them all, for your emails. I love getting them, so please keep sending them. Please keep reaching out. It's nice to know that the work that I do is helping other people. So I hope this was helpful for you. If you liked this video, please hit the like button. Please hit subscribe so you are notified when I upload the latest videos. And I will see you guys when I upload my next one. Have a great week, and I will see you soon. Bye.